Well, thank you so much for joining us. Good evening. Good evening from Enugu and everywhere that you can get to hear us and see us from. We're gathered again together right here at ESBS. We're talking about the women this evening. In the studio with me, you get to meet wonderful women, and we're also looking at issues having to do with women. This evening, the theme, of course, will be harnessing the potentials of Enugu women. When we talk about August meeting, a lot of people wonder exactly what it is. If you're watching for the very first time, well, you get to find out what that is about, and you hear more right here as it is with the women here in Enugu. I am Ife Onyebule. We'll run off on this break. When we come back, you get to meet some of the women with me here in the studio. Thank you so much for joining us. You're welcome.
People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic evaporated milk.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official milk of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic apple for drink.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official fruit drink of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Up from when he rolls it in the studio to when he dances a lingo on stage. He has personally trusted Olympic range of products to keep him moving. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic range of products.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official partner of Manchester City Football Club.
Welcome back. Right now we're going to find out exactly who the wonderful women with me right here on the side of the divide is. There are two sides right here in this studio, but you get to find out who they are because we'll be talking about these issues as it were. And I'll start with you. What you can do is tell us exactly who you are and what it is that you do.
I'm Cynthia Raffles. I'm a consultant in customer service protocols.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Cindy Anenezuku, a grassroots mobilizer and a civil society person. Thank you.
Welcome.
I am Ifeoma Amota, Chairperson, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists, Enugu State Chapter.
You're welcome.
I'm also a journalist.
Okay, my name is Maureen Atongo. I'm the coordinator of the Southeast Women Network in Enugu State. I'm also a journalist. I'm a woman activist.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ife Chime. I'm a young ambassador for peace, and I also facilitate a business clinic in Enugu.
Great. So you've seen the women who are on the side of the divide. As the program progresses, you'll see the other women who will be joining right here in the issues. We'll go on this break. There's a report that we would like you to see. You see that report. When we come back, then we'll go straight into the discussion. Please stay with us.
The month of August every year marks an important event in the lives of the Igbo women of the Southeast geopolitical zone. It is the popular August Women Return, generally called August Meeting, Simply put, August meeting is the homecoming of the Igbo women in August every year to their marital rural hometowns to unite with their rural-based colleagues for community development purposes. But how did it all start?
Actually, I cannot be specific. I will not tell you the exact date it started, except in my own community. We started early 80s, precisely 1985. But before then, we've been hearing annual general meeting for women.
Don't know the genesis of it, how it started, the year or whatever. But I know it was based on homecoming of all the daughters in various areas.
No matter the origin, this all-important women gathering initiative by the Igbo women is now a major catalyst for religious, social, economic, and developmental activities of most rural communities in the southeast region.
You have sharing of views, ideas. From sharing of views, one learn, and from there develop, grow. When you share, while sharing, the young mothers, even the old ones who are making mistakes, might learn from a good venture.
During that period, people always raise money, and then they will now use it to put this borehole, water for their village, or this electricity, also.
But is this laudable initiative by the Igbo women supported by their respective rural communities? Igwe Tony Ojukwu is the traditional ruler of Winike community in Enugu State.
When they come home, if there are people who are quarreling, either some homes, husband and wife, they are at loggerheads or they are quarreling seriously, the women go to intervene and settle it. Even when the men cannot do it. Some of them, at times, they discuss how to build a church or help in building a classroom or school even. When they come home like this during the August meeting, they discuss how to build health centers.
One major criticism, though, is the allegation that some women now use it as a period to display affluence, thereby relegating the poor ones to the background.
That's why we decided to curb everything. No more using lace blouses, but to use a China white, if possible, for us to make it the same style. But notwithstanding, whether China or no China, they will still go and buy shoe and bag to match. They will still go and wear jewelry. And those areas, we cannot curb that area. But the only thing is that through the word of God, we use the word of God to speak to them that all that glitters is not gold.
What then are the future prospects and messages for this all-important August meeting of the women of the Southeast?
To rope in every person, every woman who is qualified to belong to their meeting, to rope the person in so that she belongs to the meeting.
I encourage them. I encourage every mother to try and go. Except you are in a situation whereby you will not be able to go. But I encourage them to go. And when they get there, they should be humble.
From all intents and purposes, August meeting is a genuine clarion call made by women themselves to constructively build their communities as well as transform themselves positively. We should encourage them.
Well, thank you so much for being there. That's just a sneak peek into what it is that's discussed when women gather together in the Southeast at what some people have heard them call the August meeting. But we'll go to some of the women on the side of the studio. Let's find out what it is with women who have been present at this meeting. What is it that they discuss at the meeting, and how have these things been able to reach out and touch the lives of women in communities here in Enugu State? I'd like to come to you. Off the camera, we were talking about this meeting, and you just said to me that you're coming from one. Is it possible for you to share with us some of the things that you discussed at this meeting?
Okay. Well, like they rightly said, August meeting is a forum where women gather to discuss issues concerning them, and it's now common in all the southeastern states of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. So it's not only an Enugu affair, but I'm a coordinator of a Southeast Women Network. I just came back from Abia State, Omar here, and a lot of things were discussed at the August meeting. We talked about issues, not only talking, but some developmental projects that are being implemented. The community, they completed a health center for the women in the rural areas, and they embarked on another project on how to provide a gari processing machine. And what we normally do in August meetings is to identify problems and potentials of women, in the communities. So, a lot of women, especially in the rural areas, they have great potentials. A lot of them engage in productive ventures like farming, petty trading, even hair dressing and other things. So when we get there, we try to identify these women and help them. Some of them don't have the capital, to start up their businesses. So we do that, and we try to raise funds and see how we can help them. Sometimes we do it collectively or individually. It depends. We also do health, medical checkups, like checking their blood pressures and their sugar levels and stuff. And when we find out those who have serious cases, we refer them to hospitals.
All right, I will come back to you, but let me come to you, Ify. Of course, you were listening with rapt attention what she was talking about. How do you think we can harness the potential of the Igbo woman? Let's look at it now, the woman right here in Enugu State from this August meeting.
Right, thank you for your question. With regards to the women are very enterprising, we're very patient, we have so many qualities as women that we can harness. If we look back before the Industrial Revolution, women were involved in so many things, so many enterprising things. Women were involved in pottery making, bead making, hairdressing, raffia, mat making, and all that. And so the coming of industrialization and all that should not actually make women to draw back. It's sad when women, probably in the villages or even women in the cities, are complaining of unemployment or waiting for funds and all that. There's a lot of information out there, and there's a lot of help. Like she mentioned, finance should not be a problem. There are lots of funds to be accessed. The CBN, the Bank of Industry, in Enugu here, the Enugu SME Center. So information is key. It's actually for the women to come out to actually, bring out the problems, because as it is now, the potentials for women are so numerous, and we that have the information, we should see ourselves as problem solvers. Wherever there's a problem, we should be able to give that problem a solution. We should see ourselves as solution providers, women empowering women. Right. And actually, there are some organizations, even in Enugu here, there's the AWEP, African Women Empowerment Program, the Enugu chapter, and then so many other women organizations that we belong to. And then women are also leading in organizations, journalists, lawyers and all that. I have a business clinic, So information should not be a problem. If women do not feel empowered, if women are actually struggling, to feed their families, because the truth of the matter is, these days it's a complementary thing. Yes, it's not just the men that are shouldering all the finances or bringing out the money.
You find that women are, in most homes, women are the breadwinners as it is.
Well, as you say, in most homes, I don't know the exact statistics, but the truth of the matter is a lot of women are shouldering a lot of financial responsibilities.
Let me come to you, Ife Obnawaj. You're a mobilizer of women. How well would you say that the women have tapped into some of what both of them have talked about that they discuss at these meetings?
Yes, as chairperson of ENUGUMerge, journalists, we've gone around, especially this August meeting, we've been to 4 villages to ensure we monitor. We also talk to women to know that, they tap from potentials of others. We talk to them, but we also stress on the importance of being in peace and loving one another, so that you will tap your potential. When somebody will explain, especially when you know how to make soap or detergent or lotion, your fellow women will come and teach you. And because you have free mind, you love one another, you'll be interested in developing your own self. Because when you develop your own self, it will benefit your family, it will benefit the society. So we go out to teach them also the need for them to be in peace, for them to love one another, because when there is love, you will pipe down and listen to other women when they bring out what they have in them.
Right.
You tap from your fellow women. We also bring out issues like health management, stress management. If you manage yourself, you can be able to move on. So women, and I'm happy we have gone to Mako in Enugu State. We have also gone to Oti River, where women, we saw how they deliberate, learning, bringing out issues on how to empower one another.
Right.
And they are so happy.
Mentoring is a major issue when we look at it, when we talk about women and how we can reach out and lift one another as it is. I want to come to you. How do you think younger women can tap into the potentials of people who are actually making it? Yes.
Well, taking it on another level, August meeting, usually it's a program for between 4 to 1 week.
Right.
And after that, everybody disperses. Those that are living in the rural areas stays back, those in the urban areas goes home. But then issue remains that there is actually a strong need for mentoring, follow-up on a whole lot of things that the women, when they come together, are able to initiate.
All right, we will need to run off on this break. There's a little something that we need to bring to you. When we come back, we'll be talking more and getting involved, the women on the other side with us here in the studio. Remember, you're listening to us on Sunrise 96.1 FM and watching live on ETV channel 50 Enugu and StarTime channel 113. This break will do. We're back. Don't go away.
People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic evaporated milk.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official milk of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic apple fruit drink.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official fruit drink of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic milk powder.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official milk of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Up from when he rolls it in the studio to when he dances a lingo on stage. He has personally trusted Olympic range of products to keep him moving. Now it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic range of products.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official partner of Manchester City Football Club.
You're welcome back. We're still here talking about women, most especially women right here in Enugu State. We're looking at what it is about harnessing that potential of Enugu women through the August meeting. That's a meeting that you get to hear. It happens in the Southeast, the 5 states of the Southeast. Of course, last week we were in Ebonyi. Today we're in Enugu. Next week we'll be in another of these states where we're going to talk about issues having to do with women. Before we went on that break, we were talking about mentoring. And I'm coming back to you. You were sharing with us what it is to mentor people and how women can get to tap from other women who have walked that path and are actually making it.
Okay, like I was saying, I said when the meeting is over and those in the cities go back and then those in the rural areas are left behind, you know, part of what they do is to bring in resource persons to take them on health-related matters, something like HIV, prevention of HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, good parenting, and all that. We discovered that after all this, there's still need to follow them up to know some of them are already down with some of these ailments. There's still need for you to now take them on, where to go to, and assess what medicine, what to do to help them prevent certain illnesses. And then for those of them that they take on micro credit access, we discover that when they now leave, they are left with the option, they will now have the grant, we now have the fund. What do we do? What do we do and to harness this fund we have, you know, to be able to generate, you know, to put food on our table and things like that. So that is the area that mentoring comes in. You know, you advise them on the best practices, on the best things to do, and what to do to, you know, help put food on their table.
When we talk about mentoring also, the issue of empowerment, they walk hand in hand, they stay side by side. I'm coming to you now. You're a consultant and an expert in that area. You want to share with us what it is, how women, you know, embrace it. You know, sometimes you look at it, you look at someone who will be good at something, but unless this person says to you, this is what I want to do, I'd like you to show me the path. It's not always easy to put people on that path. So what do you talk to women about when you need for them to step on that path?
You know, empowering a woman entails a lot, because empowerment is someone taking his or her destiny in her own hands to do what he or she likes. A lot of women have potentials, but they don't know how to use it. And education plays a lot of roles in here, because women need to be trained in what they like to do. Because someone can be dreaming of, I want to be a bead maker, but she doesn't know how to do it. Someone will be like, oh, I love this cake, I wish I can make one, but the person doesn't know how to do it. So the August meeting, let me bring in August meeting here, the women abroad, when they come down to meet their fellow women in the villages, they need to help them form an association that can help them in a lot of training, seminar, anything that can help harness their mode of thinking to make them bring out that zeal. They have to do that which they want and that which they need. Because I keep telling people that the world have an unfinished business when it comes to women empowerment. Because when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. So a lot of women, like some people love farming. They love farming, but they don't have that knowledge of what it entails. Because some people farm and pests destroy their crops. So they need to lecture them on which pesticides to use for a particular crop. They need to lecture them on the fertilizers. They need to lecture them on the harms of agrochemicals, because agrochemicals that kill crops. So a lot of women need to enroll in a lot of seminars, lectures, name it. Women empowerment is very nice.
She just talks about education now, and I'm thinking, does every woman have to go to school?
No, everyone doesn't have to go to school. But we have adult extension lessons.
Right.
Yes. Everyone does not have to go to school. But we have adult extension lessons, and sometimes I do organize a seminar, a free seminar for people to come so you can gain knowledge. Age does not have anything to do with education.
Right.
You can, even if you're 70, you're 80, we can enroll you. You can learn what you don't know.
You're a youth ambassador,
yes,
as you said.
Yes.
If we look at it, when we hear empowerment, it's either you're giving out pepper grinding machines, you're giving out hair dryers, and so many other laughable equipment, if I put it that way. Do you think we need to continue like that? She's talked about education. Sometimes poverty of the mind is something that kills quite a lot of us.
True.
How do we move away from giving out pepper grinding machine and egusi grinding machines and things like that?
Okay, it's not really moving away from giving the pepper grinding machines and those things. You know, the thing is, it has to do with the mindset.
Right.
When trainings or seminars, because I do trainings as well, when trainings and seminars are being put out there, or entrepreneurship trainings are being put out there, people want to learn a skill. They want to see a training that is being called for people to come and learn how to bake cakes, or people should come and learn how to cook soup, or people should come and learn how to make soap, you know. But when it's trainings on the soft skills, on customer service, on entrepreneurship, trainings on business plan writing and all those, some people would not be willing to come out to learn about those things. But it goes hand in hand. Learning a skill also is important, as well as providing people with, you know, the equipment to learn those skills. But it's also important for the mindset to be empowered. The mind should be empowered. Once the mind is empowered, once there's a belief, an empowering belief that one can actually succeed at what one is doing, because the thing is, if someone has a passion for something, but doesn't know that there is a purpose that should go with the passion, in most cases, the person fails. That's why most businesses fail, you know, within 18 months of setup, because there's no purpose, there's no direction. The person has a passion, yes. Most of our youths have passion. They want to work. They say the government is not providing jobs, but then there's no purpose, there's no direction. It's not just about going to school or going to the university, but it's about, you know, being trained in the mind. And as you said, we learn every day.
Right.
So it's life skills, continuous learning.
And no knowledge is lost.
No knowledge
we will come back to you.
None.
We're on this side now. Let's look at some of the women who are joining in on this discussion. Let me quickly take it to Lolo, Nkiru, or Nora. I know you'd like to, you know, contribute to some of the things that the panelists have talked about.
Well, I must have to say our women are generally blessed with different potentials, and we need to harness all these potentials. During this August gathering, women gather together to exchange ideas, and all these ideas, they tantamount to moving the society forward. Some see development as growth that we can see physically, while some see development as a social change, where people come together to exchange ideas on what they can do to enhance the status of the people in their community. I see this gathering of women during the August meeting as a great leeway to empower the people, to empower the women, because through this meeting they come together, talk about so many things concerning the society at large.
All right, Lolo, I will come back to you, but I need to run off on this break. We need to go on a commercial break, and when we return, there'll be more talk. At least you can see some of the women right here. They're eager to talk, eager to, you know, educate us on some of the things that happen at these August meetings. Stay with us. There's so much more to come.
People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic evaporated milk.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official milk of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic apple fruit drink.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official fruit drink of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic milk powder.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official milk of Manchester City Football Club. People ask Peter what his testimony is. It's the healthy choices he makes every day. Up from when he rolls it in the studio to when he dances a lingo on stage. He has personally trusted Olympic range of products to keep him moving. Now, it's your turn to start with a healthy choice.
With Olympic range of products.
Olympic, healthy choice. Olympic, official partner of Manchester City Football Club.
Violence against women is a worldwide malaise eaten deep into the fabric of society. It has become common to see women violated in different aspects of life by their male counterparts, be it their fathers, brothers, husbands, or for that matter, total strangers. Unfortunately, women bear the brunt of a lot of violence in our society and silently cover them up so as to avoid stigmatization or protect their families. Issues like sexual harassment, trafficking in women and girls, sex selection, early marriage, female genital mutilation are fast becoming epidemics plaguing Nigeria, as it is the case globally. In 1992, the United Nations General Assembly Declaration on Elimination of Violence Against Women provided a framework for action on the pandemic. But more than 20 years later, 1 in 3 women still experience physical or sexual violence, mostly by an intimate partner.
The strong laws are important. We've talked about that a little bit today, but strong enforcement of those laws is critical.
Violence can negatively affect a woman's physical, mental, sexual, and reproductive health. To address this situation, it's important to enact legislation and develop policies that address discrimination against women, promote gender equality, support women, and help to move towards more peaceful cultural norms. Violence against women remains a violation of human rights that cannot be justified by any political, religious, or cultural claim. A global culture of discrimination against women allows violence to occur daily with impunity. International organizations and global advocacy agencies such as World Health Organization, Amnesty International have been calling for the eradication of violence against women and the need to help women achieve lives of equality and human dignity.
Thank you for staying with us. You're still listening to us on Sunrise 96.1 FM and watching us live on ETV Channel 50 right here in Enugu. We're talking about harnessing the potentials of Enugu women with what goes on at the August meeting. And on the side, right here with us in the studio, you can see beautiful women behind me. Before we went on that break, Lola Nkiru Honora was lending her voice to some of the things that we had discussed here today. Lola, you want to continue with that?
Yeah. So I'm saying that gathering of women together in this issue called August meeting is a very, very beautiful thing, because during this meeting, women, they do learn a lot. In some communities where there are no pipe-borne water, schools for the children, all those things, when they come together, they talk about all those things, and then they will see how they can gather everything to make sure that before the end of the meeting, they will embark on certain projects. And for other people outside, when you listen and when you watch your members from another community embarking on certain projects, that will make you to move forward during your own meeting to think of ways to enhance the status of the people in your own community. Some do give out scholarships to people who their parents cannot even cater for their school or whatever. So gathering of women during this meeting gives the women and even the community so many good things, because during this meeting they learn a lot, even all the societal ills, those things that we need to discard from our society, women do discuss them in the August meeting. So as a result, we need to come together, because there are so many potentials, like I've said before, that are deposited in the women. And it is coming together of these women that we can use to harness all those potentials. When we give out our views, when we discuss on those issues that we have mentioned, it will enable us to move forward.
All right.
And when we are trying to do that, we are trying to develop the society at large.
All right then. Thank you so much for that. We would come to Mrs. Noye Umahi now. You want to lend your voice also to what is being discussed here today.
Thank you very much. I've listened to what the other women have said, right from the panelists and from one of us here in the studio. And we really need to talk about harnessing these potentials in the actual way. I need to see the government trying to do something during those August meetings, especially for the 5 southeastern states, where they can actually bring the bodies that, especially those that have to do with bringing out and harnessing the entrepreneurial opportunities, potentials in these women. They bring these groups, take them down to the villages and the hometowns during these meetings, and make them become aware of the opportunities that abound. For instance, Nigeria is diversifying its economy, and most of these, the commodities that we need for diversifying our economy are in the rural areas. Yes. All right? So in that area, what the government needs to do now is to now find out the potentials of our women in this in the village that can actually contribute to the export. We have our women in the village that do vegetables, they do shea butter, they do cashew, a lot of things. And all these things lie down there in the villages without anybody letting them know that this can actually be an actual source of income, and making them to actually also earn foreign exchange. So we need to get women informed, very important. And that is on the second side, women ourselves also need to help ourselves, all right? Seek for information, be avid for that knowledge, because it's only when you know that you can actually know what is happening. Just like one of our panelists said, education can never be too late, because it's when you know that you can now actually know this is what is happening. For instance, I was in a screening program for an entrepreneurial program yesterday, and I was glad to see some women there, and they had such beautiful ideas. And you can imagine if these women did not come out to say, okay, this